Hello, sport fans. Welcome to another episode of My Community Sports. My name is Bayonle Arashi. Welcome to the show. And of course, welcome to the sports segment. I'm starting today with not a very cheering news. It's a very sad one, but it's the one that is making rounds around the world of sport at this time. Junior welterweight Maxim Dadashev died Tuesday morning as a result of brain injuries he suffered during an 11th round knockout loss to Subriel Matias on Friday at the MGM National Harbor in Oxon Hill, Maryland. Dadashev was 28 years old. Dadashev was placed in a medically induced coma following a 2-hour surgery on his brain to remove a portion of his skull. It's really disheartening to losing that young man, and a lot of people have been calling for the sport to really do something about the danger that is involved in the sport of boxing. Donatas Janusevičius, he is the strength and conditioning coach of Dadashev, and he could be seen in a video online during that particular fight, telling the fighter that, hey, I have to stop this fight. You're taking too many punches, and I'm not happy about it. I'm sure he could see what's going on with that particular athlete. He knew he wasn't going to probably make it through that particular fight in terms of his strength to match his opponent in that particular fight. But of course, he has also been hailed as hero in that particular one for at least stopping the fight himself, not the player giving up this time. And the referee of that particular fight could not stop the fight as well, because the punches that Dadashev was receiving doesn't really have anything to do with a knockout or anything in particular, but the coach could see that it was destroying him internally and he has to put a stop to the fight. But of course, the athlete died, the boxer died at the hospital just 3 days after that particular fight. Very sad one, I must say. I am not happy about the news. Boxing is my second favorite sport after soccer, or football as we call it where I come from. But of course, Dadashev loss is a big one for the world of sport, and I hope that guy rests in perfect peace. The most saddening part of that particular news is that Dadashev is the Russian. He knew the boxing game was not developing as much as he wanted in Russia, so he decided to come to America, knowingly that he has to go through the system in America. So he qualified for getting a green card under the talent discovery. I don't know how to do it in immigration. And he was fighting to be able to earn a permanent residence of the United States. And of course, becoming a citizen and bringing his wife and his young son with him to America. It is really heartbreaking. If you're an immigrant, you will probably understand what that particular fighter has to go through, and the reason why his loss is really sad for everyone. But moving on now to soccer, of course, goals from Tammy Abraham and Ross Barkley gave Frank Lampard's Chelsea an impressive 2-1 win against FC Barcelona in a preseason friendly played on Tuesday in Japan. That game was played in the early morning hours of Tuesday morning in Japan. Of course, it had no Lionel Messi, there was no Luis Suarez, of course, and there was no Kante for Chelsea and some other stars for Chelsea as well. But we could see some new players from both sides making their debut in that particular game. Ivan Rakitic struck in injury time to give Barcelona their lone goal in that particular game. Chelsea winning it by 2-1. Tammy Abraham coming through for Chelsea. Hopefully, he will probably be the first choice striker. You know that Gonzalo Higuain has gone back to FC Juventus. And of course, only Tammy Abraham and Michy Batshuayi are like the top strikers Chelsea have. Of course, with the legendary Olivier Giroud in the squad as well. Ross Barkley and Tammy Abraham scored in that particular goal. In that particular game, we also had the opportunity to see £107 million signing Antoine Griezmann wearing the Barcelona jersey for the first time. He did some good stuff in that game, but he couldn't help them to beat Chelsea. Very good one for Frank Lampard and his young squad at Chelsea Football Club. Moving on again on the segment today, Gareth Bale. He showed up for Real Madrid on Tuesday evening for them in a friendly game in the International Champions Cup tournament going on across United States and of course the Far East Asia. He scored in the 2-2 draw against Arsenal. He came on in the second half of that game, played beautifully well for Zinedine Zidane, who has made it obvious that I don't want this player. He has to go. And of course, a lot of people have been thinking, what is going on between Zinedine Zidane and Gareth Bale? Some people have actually gone as far as putting it together head to head while Zinedine Zidane was playing for Real Madrid and during Gareth Bale's regime. Of course, the stats are really, really different. But can you really consider the impact the two players made for both club sides and national team? I don't think so. I think Zinedine Zidane is a class act on his own. Very, very special player when he was playing. And you also have to respect Gareth Bale for what he has achieved as an international football player and, of course, for Real Madrid Football Club. He also lost a penalty in that game, but he ended up winning that game against Arsenal via penalties by 3-2. And that goes out to you guys out there. Do you think Gareth Bale is being treated fairly by Zinedine Zidane? Do you think he should be pushed out of the squad? With the way he's looking right now, he looks like he just wants to be pushed out of the squad. They're telling him, go wherever you want to go, but you do not belong to this particular squad called Real Madrid Football Club. We don't want you. And that is being said by his coach. Do you think it's been fair? Let's share your opinion with me via my social media handle at MyDadSoccer on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram. And let's get that discussion going on this particular news for the day. Finally, for the sports segment on my community, Algeria, they became an African champion for the second time in their history. Last week Friday, that particular match was played. Baghdad Boneja is scored in the first minute via a very, very wicked deflected shot. I called it on the tweet I made after that goal was scored that day to hand Algeria their second African Cup of Nations AFCON title after 29 years wait. They had a 1-0 victory over the Teranga Lions of Senegal, who really, really roared back after that goal was scored, but they couldn't do just enough to equalize or take that game to extra time for that matter. Algeria, who were playing only their second final since 2010, held on to slim advantage for the rest of the 90 minutes, while Senegal, for the second time, they qualified for another final of AFCON, but they couldn't do enough. Aliou Cisse, we're hoping will make history on that day as another player and a coach to probably win the AFCON title, but he has to wait again. But I also think personally that Aliou Cisse has done very, very well with Senegal. He has done very well. We took them to the World Cup, and now to the Nations Cup. They went all the way to the finals. He should be kept in that particular squad to keep on developing the team. And of course, he has a young group of players. I think the oldest one, Sadio Mane, is about 27, 28-year-old right now. So they still have probably another Nations Cup title to compete for. And of course, the FIFA World Cup coming up in Qatar in 2022. That's about it today on the sports segment of my community. Like I said earlier at the beginning of the show, the loss of Maxim Dadashev really, really rocking the world of boxing and the world of sport. And I feel very, very sorry for the wife and the young son of that young star, and hope God give the family to bear that irreparable loss for them. Till I see you guys again next week, God willing. My name is Bayonle Arashi. Thank you for watching. See you guys next week. Bye-bye now.